Hey, what's up? Welcome back to this new video. This one is paper 1-2 of October-November 2022. Obviously, this is paper 1. We cannot use a calculator. With that being said, let's move on to questions. So here we have question number 1. So we have to work out this. Now again, let's see how can we do this. So I guess I like to rewrite this. I can always rewrite this as what? As 80. Divide sign, I can change that to divide. 0.02. Now, since I hate working with decimal place, I can always change them. For example, I can multiply this by 100 times 100. Obviously, when you multiply by 100 at the base, you also have to do the same at the top, so you don't change the fraction. Now, why did I do this? So I can change that to something like this. That will become 8,000 over, so this will move by 2 zeros, become 2. So obviously this is way easier to solve, so your answer will become 4,000. Okay, now let's move on to question part B. So evaluate this. So from here we have to know what? We have to know 10,000, so 1,000 is actually 10 times 10 times 10, which is 10 power 3. Now obviously applying cubic root to this, they will give you just 10 as your answer. Right. Now for part 2, we have to put one pair of the brackets into this calculation to make it correct. Again, you have to follow the rules of BODMAS here to make this correct. For example, of course, this is done by trial. By looking at this, I don't know where to put the brackets. We have to try one by one. But you will realize that if you put the bracket here, why? 4 minus this will become 0. This will become 8 times, we have to first perform the multiplication. We have 4 here times 0. Here we have plus 4. So again, let me rewrite this again. So they'll have 4 plus 4 times 0. Now obviously we have to perform this operation first. This will become 0. So 4 plus 0 will give you 4. So brackets will have to be here. Now for part B, we have to work out this one. So again, for rules of BODMAS, work out everything in the bracket first. You will have minus 3 plus this one. That will give you 4. Minus 6 times 4 will be minus 24. Now let's move on to question number 3. So here we have to write this as an ordinary number. So obviously this is in standard form. We have to expand the number here. So here we have 7.54 times 10 power minus 4. Obviously we have to move this by 4 in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 0.000. So your answer will become 0.000754. And this is your question number 3. Let's move on to question number 4. So Sam here has 6 square tiles labeled A, B, C, D, E, F. As we can see, A, B, C, D, E, F, right? For example, Sam places tiles E and F, so we have E and F side by side, resulting in a rectangle that has no lines of symmetry. As you can see here, this has no lines of symmetry. Okay, this is just an example of what Sam did. Now, what is the question? We have to write down 2 tiles that Sam should place side by side to make a rectangle that has only one line of symmetry. Again, this question is done by trial, by using your sense of observation and imagination. So choose 2 that will, if you join them together, will produce something that has one line of symmetry. So by observation, you will choose C and D, right? C and D. How? Again, you can always draw the results if you want to. You can place C here, right? And D. So we have this. You will have something like this. Now C will be here, D will be here. You can have something like this for C. And D will be something like this. This is the resulting of placing the 2 tiles together. As you can see, this will have one line of symmetry, which is going to be here, right? So again, done by observation or by trial and error. You can keep trying to find the one that actually produces the result that you want. Now for part B, has a rotational symmetry of order 2. Again, there's many ways to think about this question. The way I like to think of this, so find two tiles, it can be any one of those for now, I don't know, for which when I rotate them by 360 degrees, I see the same thing twice. That's what I can deduce from that question. Again, this is done by trial and error, by observation. You have to choose. So if you choose one by one, you will see that if you choose A and E, it will give you something that produces, has a rotational symmetry of order 2. Again, you can draw it out so you can have no confusion. You can be sure of your answer in the end. So let me just do this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and we have 1, 2. Okay, so this is obviously C over here, sorry, not C, A over here, and E over here. So let me shade A. A was given to you by something like this, right? And E was given to you by something like this. Now, what does it mean? It means that if you rotate this shape by 360, you should see twice the same thing. Okay, we see this now. So this is here, 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 and here. Rotate by 360. So this is 90. This is 180. So as you can see, we see this and this, this and this, the same pattern. Now rotate 270 and going back down to 360, we see the same pattern again. So we see it twice when you do this rotation, so this will qualify as your answer. Okay, that is your question number 4. Now let's move on to your question number 5. The perimeter of a regular hexagon is equal to the perimeter of a regular octagon. Now I think the most important thing to know here are these words. What does it mean? Right? It just means that a shape has 8 sides. This shape has 6 sides. Regular means 6 equal sides. Regular means here 8 equal sides. Now, each edge of the octagon is 9. So pretty easy. So the octagon, let me draw them out because it will be easier for you guys. So octagon is what? Is something like this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 side. So one side will be 9. Fair enough. Now what is a hexagon? Let's draw it out. Something like this. Something like that. Obviously all the sides are the same. We don't know the value here. Let's put this x, for example, for now. So we know that these two has equal perimeters, which means if you have the distance around this one, it should be equal to the distance around this one. So 9 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, right? It should be equal to what? This is 6x. Obviously we have to solve for the value of x one by one. We can divide both sides by 3. You'll have 2 here. That'll become 3 here. Divide by 2. 1. You'll have 4 here. So x will be a value of 12. So x will be 12 over here. Now let's move on to question number 6. We have to work out these fractions again. This should be pretty easy. As you can see, for fractions, here we have minus, subtraction. We have to look at the base first thing first. You can see that this is 15, this is 3, they are different. So our goal here is to make them become the same. So we do realize that if you multiply 3 by 5, and of course you have to multiply the top as well, we can change the base of both to be 15. Right? 3 times 5 is also 15. Now this will be 11, minus this will become 10, right? 2 times 5 is 10. 1 over 15 will be your answer for part 6. Now for part B, we have to work out this one. You can choose the way you would like to work it out. It's up to your preference. So you can always change that to what? 3 over 10. What does 6 mean? 6 means 1 over 6 over 1. Now obviously every time we know we have to change that sign. So this is also equal to 3 over 10. We change that to multiply. Then we have to flip the other one upside down. So you have to solve this one. So why did we change divide to multiply? Because multiply is easier to solve. This will become 1. This will become 2. And that will be 1 over 20 as your answer. Okay, cool. That is your question number 6. Now let's move on to question number 7. So here, what do we have again? So in this diagram, we have AD, AB, BC are 3 sides of a regular pentagon. Okay, pentagon has 5 sides. 2, 3, 4, 5. Regular means all the sides are the same length, right? Now DC is a diagonal, so you can see here DC of the pentagon, and AB is in the same direction, parallel to DC. So okay, that's good to know. Now what else? So we have to find the value of x. So pretty easy. How would you find that? First we do understand that since all the sides are the same, all the angles are also the same, right? So we can find the total, the sum of all the angles, then divide by 5 to find the value of x. Pretty easy. So we use this sum of all the angles is equal to what? The formula is number of sides, 5 sides, minus 2 times 180. That will be 3 times 180, and that will give you what? That will be 0 here. 3 times this will be 24, so 4 here, and then that will be 5. So 540 is the sum of all the angles in this shape, right? So 540. Divide by the number of angles, 5, be 108. So one angle will be the size of 108. X will be 108. Now we have to find the value of y. So where's y? Y is this one. So how can you find this? Obviously we have to use the given information that these two are in the same direction, right? So this and this are in the same direction. So we have to use that theory to help us out. So what can we know? Since they are in the same direction and they are drawn by a straight line, we can determine that this and this have to be the same value, right? And this have to be the same value. They are called the alternate angles. So this is something we can know, or we should know at least. For example, if two lines are in the same direction, right? And if there's a straight line join them together, this angle here have to be the same as this one, and this here have to be the same as this one. This is called the alternate angle theory. Now, by looking at this, obviously we can find out the value of y. Because this is a straight line, the sum of all these angles have to be 180, right? That'll be 180 minus 108. 7, 10, that'll be 2, 7, 2. 7, 2 will be the value of y in this question. Now let's move on to question number 8. So here we have ABC is an isosceles triangle, which means this and this are the same, and this angle are the same as well, right? And here we have the ratio of angle ABC, this one, to BAC is this to this. Okay, so we have a ratio. Now what can we do is we can say let this angle be called x. If this is x, this will also be x, and we can call this y for now. So let's rewrite this. ABC can be called y against BAC, x. The ratio is 2 to 5. Now we have to understand we can rewrite this as what? As a fractions. Y over x is equal to 2 over 5, for example. Right, what is 2 over 5? It will be 0.4, but no big deal for now. Now, what else can we know? We do know that if you add all the angles in this, you are supposed to get what? If you add x plus y, it will give you 180 degrees, right? So we can form two equations and solve them simultaneously to find the value of a, b, c, which is y. You will have 2x plus y equal to 180. Now we can say we have to find y. We can say what y is equal to 180 minus 2x. So replace. Let's see what happened. So you have 180 over here minus 2x is equal to 2 over 5. We send this over here, becomes x. So 180 is equal to 2 over 5 plus this will become 2.4 x, right? So x will be 180 divided by 2.4. Obviously we're trying to find the value of y, so y is equal to 180 minus 2 times 180 over 2.4. I guess it's kind of awkward to work with decimal place. We can always try and simplify first and then see what happens. So divide by 2, that'll become 1.2. Divide by 6, that'll become 30. That'll become 0.2. Divide by 2, that'll become 0.1. That'll become 15. Multiply by 10 on both sides, right? So we can change that. That will become what? 180 minus the value of 150, right? So if you take 15 divided by 0.1, you will have 150. So your answer will be y is equal to 30 degrees. Okay, well, the concept here is to use the information given to you, find two equations that we can use to solve simultaneously to find the values of x and y. But here we need the value of a, b, c, which is just y, so equal to 30 degrees. Now let's move on to question number 9. So by writing each number correct to 1SF, we have to estimate this value. So one by one, how can we do this? Look at this one. Here we have 47.5 to 1SF. When we look at the first number, we leave it by itself. We ask if this one, is it more or equal to 5? The answer is yes, so we have to add 1. That'll become 5, and the rest becomes 0. So same thing for the rest, 36.1, that'll become 1. So leave the first one by itself because it is 1 itself. This is more or equal to 5, so add 1, that'll become 40. And this one will be 64.9, that'll become 60. Using the same logic, obviously. And this will become what? 20, right? So replace back, you will have 50 plus 40 divided by 60 divided by 20. That will be 90 divided by 3, and your answer will be 30. Not degrees, sorry. 30 for this value, not degrees again. Okay, that will be your question number 9. Let's move on to question number 10. So here we have to write this as a product of its prime factor. Pretty easy again. 420 divided by 2, you will have 210. Divide by 2, you will have 105. Divide by 5, you have 21. Divide by 3, you have 7. So this will become 2 power 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. Okay, that will be the product of its prime factors. Now for part B, given that we have this equal to this, find the highest common factor for these two. So pretty easy. We can write them side by side. You will have 420. It is 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. 1512, that will be 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 7. So how do you find the HCF? We just find which one are matching. For example, this matches with this, matches with this, this matches with this, and this matches with this. So the matching numbers will be 2 times 2 times 3 and times 7. So these matches, this will become your HCF. That is 4 times 3 times 7. So that will be 21. So 4 times 21, that will be 84. Okay, that will be your question part B. Now let's move on to question number 11. So here we have Azura has a spinner. The sections are colored red, blue, yellow, and green. Okay. The relative frequency of the spinner landing on red, blue, and yellow are shown in the table below. Great. So here we have to first find the relative frequency on this one. So pretty easy. We understand that if you add everything, you're supposed to get 1. So what is this value here? We have to take 1 minus the rest. So 1 minus 0.5, you'll have 0.5 minus this, will become 0.35. Well, obviously we can double check. So 1 is 1.0, 0 minus 0.3, 0.2, and 0.15. So this 2 becomes 0.5. So 1 minus 0.5, you will have 0.5. Then minus 0.15, you will have what? This will become 4, 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. This will be 3. So 0.35 will be your value for part A. Now for part B, we do understand that Azura spins the spinner 150 times. This is the number of times he spins the spinner. We have to find the expectation to land on blue. So pretty easy. Blue we see it is 0.3. Expectation is always going to be equal to number of times we spin times the relative frequency. That will be 150 times 0.3. Send the 10 over here, that will become 15 times 3, and your value will become 45. That is your question number 11. Now let's move on to question number 12. So here we have to represent the inequality. As you can see here, the only difference here we have what? An equal sign. So just be careful. Here we have this. We have this value over here. 2, it should be something over here. We just have to shade the inside here because it is equal. We have to also include that in and then join these two by a straight line. Right. So of course use a ruler if you have one. It's best for you. That is part 1. Part B, solve this one. So let's send all the n to one place and all the constant to the other place. So you have this and this over here become 15. This over here become 3n. So your value will become 5 divided by 5 by 3 actually. So that will become 1. That will become 5, and you will have this. So this will be your answer for part B. Now for 13, Sophia cycles 2,600 meters in 12 minutes. We have to change that to km per hour. So we just have to convert. So what is km per hour? We do understand that 1 km is 1,000 meters and 1 hour is 60 minutes. So we have to convert these values back to these metrics. So convert 2,600 meters. That will become 2.6 km, and 12 minutes is equal to 12 divided by 60. That will be what? 1/5 hours. Right. So now we just have to find that value. How? Pretty easy. We just have to know average speed is defined by the total distance divided by the time taken. So total distance will be 2.6 km divided by 1/5, which is 2.6 times 5. 6 times 5 will be 30. That will be 13. Here we have one decimal place. The answer will be 13 km per hour. Okay, so here we have a locus question. So obviously, too bad I don't have my instruments with me to draw the locus, but I'll explain this pretty fast. Let's see what can we do. So the scale drawing shows a plot of length PQRS. So we have here PQRS, right? The scale is 1 to 20. Okay, so in this question, obviously my printing may not be perfect, may not be the same as on the exams, so you might differentiate a little bit from the marking scheme. But the methods will be right, if that makes sense. So part A, a path crosses the land. The path is equidistant from SP and SR. So SP and SR, the common factor here we have R on both sides. So here we have to draw what? The angle bisector of angle S. So usually you have to use your compass to draw this, but again I don't have one. I will just estimate this. So how do you draw this? You have to point, you have to draw an arc over here, same distance, make them join the middle, and then you will have a line basically cutting the angle S exactly in half. Again, this is not the right way, what I'm doing right now, but I'm just doing this so you can have a vision or visualization to see what's happening. For example, I just have to cut this exactly in half using my instruments, but again I don't have them with me right now, so it should look something like this. It is an approximation, obviously, as I'm saying. This is not the right method, but you should have a line that cuts the angle S exactly in half. That's the idea. Okay, so what else? So here we have Priya, walks from point P to the path on a bearing of 104. So of course you have to use this one, compass or protractor, right? So I have this one, unfortunately. So on a bearing of 140, so we have to measure 140. So from this point, we have 140 should be over here, right? We join these two. We understand that she works in this direction. Okay. He walks to the path on this and draw a line to represent the walk. So the line will be from here and stopping to this point. Okay, it will not go past it, it will only be until this point. Now we have to find the actual distance of P and where it meets the line. So we have to measure, usually we just have to measure this value from 0 to 7. From what I can see from me, again it will be maybe different for you because you're using the right tools to draw this. So for me it shows to be 7 centimeters. I have to use the scale. 1 is 20, 7 will be 7 times 20 will be 140 meters. That is part 2 of your question. Now we have what? A car park is to be built on a plot of land. Okay. On the scale drawing, the area will be 2 centimeters square. So we have to find the actual one. So we have to use the scale to find the actual one. So pretty easy. We do understand 1 centimeter is equal to 20 meters. This is centimeter and meters. Here we have square. So how can you change that to square? We have to square both sides. You will have 1 centimeter square, and that will be 20 square meter square. So this is the ratio we have for area for the scale. Now here we have 2. So what is the actual size of 2? If 1 is 20 square, 2 will be 2 times this. 2 times 20 square. That will be obviously what is what? 20 times 20 will be what? 20 times 20. 0, 0, 400. 400, and that will be 800. Okay, this is the actual size of the car park by using the scale given to you to find the ratio of the area first and then find the actual area. Now let's move on to question number 15. So the diagram shows the points 0, 6 and then the P0 and P6. Okay, great. The equation of the line this is this. So from this we can find the value of P, right? Because we understand the line AB passes through these 2 points. So this is B, for example, P0. This is the X value and the Y value. Replace back in, you will have 3 times 0 plus 4P equal to 18, which means 4P is 18, 2P, 9P will be 4.5. So value of P will be 4.5 according to the given values. Now here we have to write down the 3 inequalities that define the region inside the triangle ABC. So ABC, pretty easy. First one is have to be inside of this, below this line. So Y has to be less than 6. Has to be on the left of this line. So obviously X has to be less than P, which is 4.5. And finally has to be above this one. So it has to be, we can make Y become subject. You will have 3Y is equal to 18 minus 4x. So Y will be 18, this and this. If you want to write that, you can always write 3Y has to be more than 18 minus 4x. So these will be the 3 inequalities that defines the region inside of the triangle. That's why we don't have equal signs over here. Now 16 we have what? We have P is a point, minus 2, Q is a point, 6, 13, okay, given to you. M is a midpoint, we have to find the midpoint. Again, use your formula to find the midpoint. We have to add these two. So minus 2 plus 6, that will become 4. 1 plus 13, that will be 14. And then divide the rest by 2. You will have 2 and 7 as the midpoint. Again, this is the formula you have to know. We have to add x1 plus x2 divided by 2. 1 plus this one divided by 2 to find the value of the midpoint. We have to find the gradient of P, PQ. Again, we have to use the formula, pretty easy. We know the passing points, which is this. right? Now we just have to apply the formula, which is the gradient is equal to y2 minus y1. So 13 minus 1 divided by this minus this. That will become 12 over 8, which is what? Divided by 4 will be 3 over 2. That should be 1.5. For example, right? You can write this. Now we have to write down, because why does it say write down? Because it should be very easy. There's no calculation involved. So the gradient of the line that is perpendicular. So pretty easy, perpendicular. We'll just have to understand that if the gradient of PQ is 3 over 2, then the line which is perpendicular, their gradient will be the reciprocal, which will be 2 over 3, and negative sign for that for their gradient. So we just have to know this formula. If a line is perpendicular to one line, the gradient will be what? We have to invert this upside down first, and then apply the negative sign. Now let's move on to question number 7. Till here we have to simplify, obviously, bring this in. So 2 times 3 will be 6, right? And this one will be what? Let's see, we have this. So what is 9? 9 is 3 power 2. Now something we can know is what? Usually what do we do? For example, let's say we have a power minus 1. To make the power become positive, we can. So of course, what is a? A is a over 1. We can invert the inside and the power become positive. Right, same over here. The power is positive, we can invert the inside to make the power negative. So by comparison, you can see this is this. So t will be 1 over 3. So here for this one, let's see what can we do. Obviously, what is that? So square root of 5 is 5 power half times 5 power 0. But the laws of indices we know, we have to add the powers, so half plus 0. It is 5 half. E is equal to 5 power k. Now these two can cancel out, k will be equal to half. This is your question number 19. This is 18. Let's move on. So here we have x is directly proportional. So x is directly proportional to the square of y plus this. So we can rewrite this as equal to k times x plus y plus 1 square. Now, we have to use these values to find the value of k. So when x is equal to 45, the value of y is 2 plus 1 square. 45 equal to, so 2 plus 1 is 3, square is 9, so k will be the value of 5, right? Replace back in your equation, so x is equal to 5, y plus 1 square. Find the value of x when the value of y is 4. 4 plus 1, that will be 5 square. So 5 times 5 square will be 125. X will be 125. Let's move on to question number 19. Here we have to solve this one. So how can we solve this question? Let's see. So of course, step by step, let's first try to simplify the left hand side. First thing first, the base is different. Let's change that. Oh yeah, let's change that. Why not? So a common denominator here could be 12, but again, let's make it easy for everyone. We will just cross multiply and multiply them by each other. You will have 4 times this will be 12x minus 4 plus 6x plus 12, and multiply them by each other, you will have 24. 5 over 3. Simplify. We can have what here? We can have 12 plus this will be 18 minus 4 this will be plus 8 over 24. 5 over 3. Now obviously we can divide, we can simplify, we can cross multiply actually. You will have 3 here. 18x plus 8, and that should be 24 times 5. Divide by 3 on both sides, you will have this here, you have 8 over here, so you have 18x plus 8 is equal to 8 times 5 will be 40. 18x is equal to 40 minus 8 will be 32, right? And x will be 32 divided by 18, that should be 2. So x will be the value of 2. Again, it is step-by-step solving. First thing first, we have to simplify the left-hand side. Then simplify, cross multiply, and all that. In the end, solve for the value of x by making x become the subject. Rewind. Here we have what? 32 over 18 is actually not 2, right? It should be 16 actually. Divide by 2, you will have 16 over the value of 9. So 16 over 9 for your value of x. Now let's move on to question number 20. So the table shows some information about the times each of the 100 children spend reading in one day, the time they spent. Okay, good to know. So we also have the frequency density. I guess the main point here is to know, how do you find this one? So frequency density is equal to frequency divided by class width. That's the main thing to know. So what are the class width of each class? 30, this will be 30 minus x. 40 minus this will be 10, that will be 5, and this will be 15. So here, the frequency density is 1.6 is equal to frequency, which is 32, divided by class width, which is 30, minus 10. Using that formula here, we can find the value of x right here, right? So we can just cross multiply. You will have 30 minus x. We can send this down. You will have 32 over 1.6. Actually, here might be, yeah, mistake over here actually. So going back to the question here, we have what? So we can simplify this, divide by 16. Sorry, we can first multiply by 10, both sides you will have 320 over 16. Divide by 16, you will have 1. You will have 2 here, 0. So x will be the value of 10, right? So send this over here will become 10. That makes sense. So 30 minus x is 20. So send this over here becomes x, become 30 minus 20, and that becomes 10. Okay, so let's move on to part B. Here we have to draw the histogram, so pretty easy. We just have to find these values here. So this divided by 5 will be 3. This divided by this will be 2. So here we have to draw the rectangles. First class width is from x. X is 10 to 30. The value is 1.6. 1.6 should be something over here. There you go. Should be something like this. And 30 to 40 will be 2.3. 2.3 should be something over here. And then 40 to 45 should be the value of 3. And then 45 to 60 should be 2. 2 should be something like this, right? So as you can see, pretty simple. We first have to find the frequency density for these two missing cases, and the main formula to know was this one. Let's move on to question number 21. So here we have to find f inverse. So first let y is equal to f of x, which is 1 plus 3x over 2. We have to make x become the subject. So that will be, send this over here, become y minus 1 is equal to 3x over 2. We can send this over here, we have 2y minus 2 is equal to 3x. X will be 2y minus 2 over 3. So this will become 2. We change the y to x. That will be your inverse. Because this function is in terms of x, that's why we have to write this in terms of x as well. Now we have to solve this one. First, replace the value of minus 4 into f. So minus 4, I'll replace this. We'll have 1 plus 3 times minus 4 over 2. Divide by 2, you will have minus 2. That will be 1 minus 6. That will be minus 5. So g of x is 2 over 1 minus x is equal to minus 5. So we have to solve this equation. Send this over here, this over here. We can have, send this over here, and this over here. You have 2 over minus this is equal to 1 minus x. Then we send this over here, x is equal to this 1 plus this, and that should be 1.4 as a value for x. Again, this is just trying to make x become subject to find the value of x. Nothing special here. You can take your time and solve this, but the idea is just to find x as a subject. Question number 22. So factorize. What is 9? 9 is also 3 power 2, which is 3p square minus q square. That will become the difference of squares. 3p plus q times 3p minus q, right? Fair enough. Now for part B, we have to factorize, so one by one. Here we have c and c. We can take c out. You will have a minus 3b. And here we have plus, and here we have just have a minus 3b, right? This is 1, obviously. So these two are the same. We can take it out. You will have a minus 3b, and the remaining will be c plus 1. So this is the full factorization of part B. Let's move on to question number 23. Adam and Ben buys tickets for the cinema and theater. Adam buys 5 cinema tickets and 4. We can write this down. Adam, he is here 4, 5, and 4. This Ben buys 7 and 9. Right. Complete. Part A done. Now for part B, we have to buy what? We have to know the tickets for cinema cost $11 and the theater cost $30. So y is given to you. We have to find p. So p is x times y. X is 5, 7, 4, 9 times y. Y is 1130. So obviously we have to do rows by columns. Rows will be 5 times this will be 55 plus 4 times this will be 120. Rows by column, 7 times 11 will be 77 plus this time this will become 270. Simplify, you will have 175 and this will become 7, right? So 7 plus 0 is 7. 7 plus 7 is 14. That should be this. And this will be your answer for part B. P is this value. Explain what P means. So pretty easy. P means what? Is the, as you can see, we're taking 5 tickets times the cost of the ticket plus 4 of those times the 30. So which means, as you can see, 5 and 4 belongs to Adam, which means this is how much money Adam spent, and this is how much money Ben spent. Okay, so you can just write this. It represents the amount that each Adam and Ben spent respectively. Okay, you can write this down. So represent the amount of money that Adam and Ben spent respectively. You get the idea, right? At least. Now let's move on to question number 24. Here we have this, so pretty easy. Again, we just have to know something. Is that sine of 180 minus x is also equal to sine of x. For example, here we have 50. So which means sine of 50 is also equal to sine of 180 minus 50, which is sine of 130. So sine of 50 is equal to sine of 130. So this is something we can know to solve this question. Now for 25 we have to simplify. Let's first try to factorize. On top we can have x is common, take out x minus 4. The bottom we have a quadratic equation, so that will be x times x. 12 is 4 times 3. To get minus 1 have to be minus 4 plus 3. So these are the same. This will become x over x plus 3. Right? Okay, let's move on to question number 26. Let's solve this question. So here we have OAC is a triangle, as we can see. The point B lies on AC such that AB and BC have a ratio of 3 to 2. This is 3 to 2. The ratio. Now obviously you would say if you add both 3 plus 2, the whole length should be 5. At least in terms of ratio, right? Now we have those value of OA and OB given to you right here. We have to find OC in terms of A and B, sorry. So again, how would you find OC? By observation. From O, I want to go to C. So you would say, from O, I can go to A first, and then from A, I can go to C, according to the triangle that I can see. So OA is given to you by A. AC, I don't know. I have to find AC, right? So how would you find AC? So actually, it's not too bad. So to find AC, we have to use a ratio. So first, let's find AB. AB can be found using the observation. A going to B is simply A going to O going to B. Will be minus A plus B. So B minus A. Now we do understand that the ratio of AB to BC is 3 to 2, right? So we can derive what? We can say, well, I guess we can use that too. The ratio of AB to AC is 3 to 5. Let's write this down. The ratio of AB to AC is 3 to 5. Since we know this value, AB is equal to B minus A over AC, 3 over 5. We can just cross multiply. Send this over here, you will have 5. Send this over here, you will have over 3 times B minus this will give you the value of AC. Now obviously replace everything back in your main equation, which is this one. That will become 5 over 3B minus 5 over 3A. So finally, this will give you A minus this will become minus 2 over 3A plus 5 over 3 over 3B. This is simply the value, so we can factorize obviously 1 over 3 outside. You will have 5B minus 2A. This will be the value of OC. Now for part B, we have to what? We have D is a point on OC. So D is a point on OC. Let's say D is somewhere over here, right? For example, such that OD is a value of B minus 2. OD is this over 5A, given to you by the question, this one. Now we have to show that OABD, so joining these two, is a trapezium. So for it to be a trapezium, this side and this side have to be in the same direction. So that's the main idea of being a trapezium. So these two sides have to be parallel. How do you prove two sides are parallel? There must be a multiple of each other. So we have to find the value of dB. So let's find dB. So from D, let's go to B. So from D, I can go to O going to B. D going to, again, how do you find those values? By using the diagram. As I can see, if I want to find D going to B, I can first from D, I can go to O because I know this value, and from O go to B. So D, O plus O going to B. DO, so we know OD is in this direction, this value. DO will be in the opposite direction. Change the sign. Become minus B plus 2 over 5A. Plus OB. OB, the value of OB is simply what? OB is given to you by the value of B. So this and this will cancel out. You will have 2 over 5A. So dB is 2 over 5A, and OA is just A. As you can see clearly that if you dB is a multiple of OA. So because it is a multiple of OA, because this was A, right? So A. Because it is a multiple of OA, we can say that we have proven that OA is in the same direction as dB. They are parallel, and thus this four-sided shape is a trapezium. Hence we prove that OABD is a trapezium. And that is your last question of this paper. Now if you guys have any question, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next videos.